Yeah, we were on a mission, got my crew at my side. Scouring the shelves, we're down for the ride. Plastic warriors all lined up tight. From the comic shop counters to the late night site. It's the thrill of the hunt, gotta make it mine. I'm out here searching, yeah, taking my time. I'll flip every aisle, don't care what it takes. For that rare chase piece, I'm raising the stakes. Action figure alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games. From legends to villains, yeah, I got them all. Stacked up high, every hero, every ball. Every line, every wave, from the past to the new. It's a bond, it's a crew, we're the real Toy Zoo. Tearing through the packaging, no hesitation. Each piece, a reminder of dedication. We'll call it a phase, this ain't just a trend. These figures got history, they're my closest friends. Action figure alliance, we're sticking a claim. Battling for grails, don't care about fame. From the base of the shelves, we're making a stand. This is our world, you don't understand. Paint them, pose them, fix them up right. Customs in the works, we go all night. From the rarest grills to the dudes out fights. Each one's got a story burned in our minds. Action figure alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games. We're playing no games. From legends to villains, yes, yeah, I got them all. We're after legends and stories untold. Alliance forever till the end of the line. This is our mission, this is our pride. From legends to villains.
Dang, man.
We was 2 minutes late because we're on BBTS talking about toys.
It's
like,
true.
hey, we got a whole stream of people we want to go talk to.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. We got to start this fucking show, man.
We can talk about it live. It's all good, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we weren't getting ready to do that anyway, but Trey asked me a question about a figure, and I was like, oh yeah,
I
I gotta go. I'll send you a link to the one that I've got. So yeah, good stuff.
We'll get to that eventually.
Shouldn't be surprising to anybody that knows us. That's the way it works. So, man, I am sitting here looking at a table full of figures. We decided we were going to talk about action figure scales, which is a fairly sizable topic. That just came right.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
No,
I thought we had a badumch. We don't.
You blew it. Yeah. Anyway,
like
and so I pulled a bunch of figures down here for examples and stuff like that. But you know what? I am in like a good mood on top of it. Not only just looking at a bunch of cool figures, but I've got some awesome take my money. It's not even really take my money. Maybe we should do another segment for stuff that's like not even pre-orderable yet. Like I don't know if that falls under toy news.
I still take my money because it's toy news. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But it all converts. It goes through the process.
It does.
Because anything you talk about toy news is going to be a take my money. Not anything if you don't get it, but like, it's going to go through that process. Yeah. So you might see the same thing in 3 different segments. It's part of it.
It's true over time. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we'll call it toy news because most of it, as a matter of fact, is not orderable. But not only that, but I got some really cool new hotness. And we got Joe Fest coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
The middle of Yojo June. And Hasbro, you're killing me.
Yep.
We'll talk about that too.
Oh yeah, I think you got a little bit of a rant you've been brewing on.
Yeah. The Lord's scale will be discussed tonight. Yes, so
with us. Yeah. So there's a reason that I had this idea, and that was because of last week's guest.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and the
90% funded, man.
Yeah, dude.
90% funded,
which is super exciting. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go grab that link real quick.
I like hobbies. You mean no Joe June? Yep.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
That's some pretty weak sauce, man. I
It
mean,
is.
okay, so gosh, he needs less than $7,000 left here for
Go to
the
Kickstarter, back Grindhouse Toys, back that epic Kickstarter.
Yep. Link
Yeah.
is in chat now.
Links in the chat. It's worth it.
Yep.
Also, and he apparently dropped more stuff. I haven't had a chance to look at it today, so we'll see.
You know what? Let's see.
He had add-ons.
Oh yeah, no. So all he did was he changed it to where you can do the builders and add additional builders to your rewards.
Okay, I did all
However,
in.
yeah. However, he is going to have a panel at Joe Fest, and I think there's going to be surprises. Maybe some of the what do they call them? Tiers or stretch goals.
Stretch goals
Maybe he'll
revealed.
reveal those.
I have a feeling that me and you'll probably be hanging out with him quite a bit. So.
Oh yeah. Well, we shot the shit quite a bit at IshCon.
Yeah.
Chris is a cool dude, so I was, I'm super excited and happy for him. My collection is going to take a hit, and it's going to be in the 1/18th scale. So yeah, it's a thing. But dude, we're already like knee deep in this, and it's intro time.
In a pleasant world where legends collide, tiny heroes standing side by side, guardians of playtime in disguise, action figure alliance on the rise. Join the alliance, come take a stand, with the many armies ruling the land. Hail to the heroes, loaded with might, action figure alliance unite tonight.
Yeah, I got some energy tonight because I am. I'm excited about Joe Fest. I'm excited about all this shit that I've been seeing. I'm already cussing. Like, it was like 10 seconds, and I probably dropped an F-bomb. I don't do that.
Got one for you. Fuck Hasbro in their shitty reveal or their bull crap stream. Lenny talking to Joshua Williamson. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
But how long has the Energon universe been out?
Yeah.
And you haven't given us a figure.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I picked up G.I. Joe 8 today. The Baroness on the cover. Got a few variants. I like some variants,
Okay.
Some decent variants here.
Yeah.
Even though our LCS marks them up a little bit. But great story. I like how they're progressing the Joe story and mixing it in with the Energon. But man, where's my messed up Cobra Commander? Where's Risk? Where's the good Baroness? Where's so much? All right, so Major Blood has goons now. I just call them Blood Goons. So I kind of made my own Blood Goons before they came out in the comic. I didn't know they were going to do that. I just made one.
Yeah.
But now he actually has goons. And yeah, so much fail there.
Yeah, it was a cool interview, and I really love the Energon universe stuff from top to bottom. Basically, has been very good. But I mean, it has been lackluster this year so far, and you'd think with the lack of cool stuff, the lack of figures shipping, they would be pressing this one hard. They'd be like, all right, we're back, we're coming at you and stuff. And yeah, pretty much a significant letdown. They better bring it with this next HasLab. I don't know that I'm excited for, what everybody seems to think they're coming up, but
Evil Dookie, we're getting more comics this month than action figures, and that's sad.
It's true. Yeah.
And I've seen some people that were taking Marvel Legends and putting it over to Yojo, Marvel Legends June, because they got more releases this month. Like, you got a plan, you got a market, but not to mention that what Chad says, that's that bullshit where they pulled the police figure.
Yeah.
That's that bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know that that's true, but I kind of think it is. But they've been bad with their communication in general anyway, so it's kind of like, who cares?
Well, they just pissed a lot of people off. You pulled a stream last week,
Yeah,
and then there was supposed to be one today, and it was nothing but a 30-minute talk about comic books, which
pre-recorded interview.
Pre-recorded interview, yeah. There was one reveal, which is okay if you like those characters, and I do.
Yeah.
But so much other stuff you could be doing.
Yeah. And dude, they really do need to come up with some of the Energon Universe themed figures, for sure. I want a Baroness in that new armor that she's got. That would be badass, like you said.
Zakana said he'd take it into Lord scale too. You go both scales. You classified and 1/18. And that's the thing they need to pull the trigger on. Give us some 1/18 figures. There's not been any in a long time.
I'm okay without. I think they need to decide on one, because honestly, you spread them too thin, and we're not going to get much in either, and nobody's going to be happy. Right. But the thing that occurred to me when we were having this discussion, or when I was coming up with notes, should I say? All right. I'm gonna save it for the scale discussion. I'm gonna save it for
that was a re-reveal, I believe, but
oh yeah,
they had already showed it, and I know we had seen it, but they threw it up there. But
yeah, oh well. Yeah, man. So, dude, I want to do some new hotness.
Okay, let's roll.
All right, let's do some freaking new hotness. Let me find the stupid thing, because I haven't been doing my. Yeah, please hit the like button, like and subscribe, bitches.
And comment. You just call our viewers bitches. Come on, man.
Take that, your eardrums.
Let me throw a bomb at you.
What did you say?
What is it? What's it called? What's this the guy
Jai-Lai.
Jai-Lai, yeah.
No, High-Lie.
High-Lie? Okay.
No J.
No J?
I don't think there's a J.
I know.
I don't know.
I had to go to 3D Joe's to look at the I can't even think of the damn name. The card, the file card, to even figure out what that was.
Yeah, how did they release packaging this late in the game with a UPC code? Not a UPC code, a QR code that doesn't freaking work.
Yep.
What? All right, don't get me started. You're getting me started. Anyway. We're going to hit up the desk cam, because I've got some cool stuff. All right. So first off, he's tiny, but he's badass. Yeah, this figure, I'm actually really impressed. And now it's got me even more excited for the World War Hell. So 1/18 scale coming to my shelf.
I can't believe it took you a year to open this figure.
I know, dude. Well, first off, I didn't realize that it was already open, like not sealed.
Right.
And I liked the packaging so much, and I thought it was cool, the VHS tape thing. So, yep. So many different looks, so many different accessories.
So much in that box.
Oh yeah, it is very cool. So pulled him out. Just wanted to show him off. That is not a new pickup. That is an old pickup.
Yeah, you got that at Joe Fest last year, which I should have got one, and I got the last one of these at Toylanta.
Right. Might have been the very last one. From
according to what Chris was saying. Yeah, he had some on the shelf in a video, but I don't think he's letting those go.
Yep. So, got her in. This is Gun Girl from Roman Key. She's pretty freaking cool, man. So Roman Key makes some awesome bucks. So that was not a surprise that this buck is really nice. I love the detail in the face and the eyes. I think that's really cool. She comes with a whole separate body without the tattoos and stuff, which is wild. And then there's interchangeable hands. So she's got this big mech hand, almost like a right hand of Doom, like Hellboy has. You can swap out this side or either side really for like different guns or attachments. She's got a gigantic gun. I really like this coat. I think that's really neat. Yeah, neat figure. She's a bit on the tall side, but very cool.
Quit touching figure inappropriately.
Am I? Well, maybe.
She looks like Harley Quinn's younger sister with a Luke Skywalker hand missing.
It's from the Cyberpunk cartoon, which you haven't seen, but you should watch because it's actually really good. Only sort of from that. Definitely inspired by, if you will.
I bet you did, Kane.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I got heavy duty. My first Joe from Hasbro in like freaking
forever.
4 months, something like that. It's ridiculous. So he's pretty cool. These missiles are awful. Like, what? How is this missile come out of here? Yeah. Are you kidding me?
And don't turn it; it falls out. So I've had this figure. I got it from CMD's store in Canada. I've had it for a while. So I forgot to cancel my Hasbro one, so I got one for sale at Joe Fest. But yeah, he's pretty cool. It's there's some flaws.
This whole thing gives me the Aliens vibe.
Yeah.
Which I think is really neat. But these freaking missiles, man, I don't know. That made me like arbitrarily mad.
Well, they're the same missiles that came from what's that dude's name? Why can't I think of
Heavy Metal?
Yeah. And but I did see somebody took a toy pic this week, and it was him and it was anyway. I forgot what I was going to say. I'll have a drink. Keep going.
Have another one, buddy. All right. Well, anyway, so he's pretty cool. Those missiles suck, but honestly, I'll probably just display them without those on. Here's another one of the weird figures. I got dial tone shipping notification too, Dookie.
I don't understand that because I got my dial tone from BBTS a long time ago.
I don't get it, dude. I don't get it.
It's so weird.
Anyway, we've got another Fishman.
Merman.
We've got Chief Fishman. Dude, these figures are awesome. I mean, obviously, I just this is my second. I went back and bought it again. The paint is really cool. The articulation is cool. Like everything that they come with is really fun. He comes with an absolute ton of different hands that are very like emotive. The mouth opens and closes. He's got a tongue in there that you can pose around, which is kind of fun. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna have a whole shelf of mermen. So
is that the exact same one, or it has a different like hookup on it, like kind of like the Plunderlings? There's a different version.
Exact same one as.
Oh, okay.
No. As the other one that I had.
Yeah.
Different head. Yeah, there's a bunch of different parts on it. Like it's cool. Not actually very much the same at all. Maybe the legs, maybe the upper arms, but not the torso because like these are all new.
Cool.
Obviously the head is new, so yeah, pretty cool. A lot of fun. All right. Yeah, I think we're going into the one that I'm most excited about. Although this was pretty slick.
Nice.
Trying to show that without super huge glare, but it's a holo. The very first freaking card that I opened was a holo foil. This is the second card I opened, and it's the Merward insignia. And I guess it's got some like, I don't know. I haven't read all this text yet, but that's pretty neat too. So
are these going to be at Joe Fest?
Yes. Well, I don't know. Rob said that they had intended to have a very limited quantity for Joe Fest. So,
as soon as I walk in the door, they're probably going to be to the right. I'm going straight there.
All right, I lost them. Where did they go? Hold on a second. Oh shit! They're right here in front of me. Like I said, big pile of figures over here. So yeah, this is Krieger, and man, I gotta be honest. I need it. Yeah, you do. These are better. They feel better in hand. The articulation moves a little bit better than the lizards. He is pretty awesome. So I don't have all of them that I got opened yet, but this is Krieger, and he's a badass. Let's stick him here. And then I also got Jaeger.
Yes.
Whose sword fell out of his sheath on his backpack, but this guy looks awesome. Cool.
Those
Tons of cool
individual
accessories.
arrows on his chest. I can't wait to get that figure. I was not into buying these, and now I am.
Yeah, I know. You've come around to some different stuff recently with your AWOC and now some more of this stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, so I got those two, got them open, kind of got their loadout like I wanted. I also have Nashorn.
Nice.
Haven't had a chance to open him yet. And then I got, and this is part of what makes these figures so fun. There we go. That's a decent view. The Conquest pack of cool parts and heads and weapons and stuff. So
did you buy another figure to put all that stuff on? Because that's what I would do.
Dude, okay. This was my this shipment that I just got today was from when I backed the Kickstarter.
Okay.
I did not do an all-in on the Kickstarter, surprisingly. I was trying to be a little bit good. But I've since gone back and put in 2 all-in pre-orders.
Oh, wow.
Both of which has shipped. So they should be arriving here next couple of days. So I'm gonna have two full sets and some extras, which I'm excited about.
Nice.
Because they also even when you ordered an all-in, you got some bonus cards and some other stuff. So but yeah, these guys are pretty awesome. I'm super Zujitsu Series 2. yeah, I'm sure Trey is excited about that one too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was, and thus ends Alan's new hotness.
Okay.
You got any new hotness, man?
Yeah, I got some.
We going desk cam or spot?
No, just up front.
All right.
Already kind of spoiled one of them, so here he is.
Yeah, you did.
Frag Viper.
With his Jai-Lai.
With his Jai-Lai, whatever. Yeah.
I might be wrong. You might be right. I honestly don't
There
know.
is a J in it, so if you know. But it's pretty cool. It's I like the figure. It's very interesting. I have more coming. I got this one. So proud of my little girl, my daughter. She graduated high school yesterday. So big ups to her. So we went to lunch and I did a Target run. And I never do that because I hate going to Target because there's never anything there. But I found this.
That's cool.
And I got 2 more of those.
Nice.
So that makes 4. And then back here, I got Footloose, which I really like.
Yeah.
Except for
why
why did you give me the nods on the helmet? I don't need that. The Lord Scale doesn't have that. Come on.
I think that's a fine update.
It's okay, but they don't work. If you're going to put them in there and make them work.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I like it. I really like this Footloose figure. He's a good figure.
Yeah.
Footloose never got a lot of love, but I think he's cool. And that's it. That's
Okay. No, that's still cool. I mean, you got all those before you get them from Pulse.
Yeah.
God. I don't know so I did hear that some of the delay was they shift their manufacturing to Vietnam or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's pretty weak sauce. So anyway, I I don't need to make the sound effect. The stupid thing makes the sound effect for me.
What's up, Ricky?
Yeah, man. So, do you want to go ahead and get into some of these take my money before we get into the scale discussion? That way we can just
Yeah, I only had one.
You only have one?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this. Oh yeah, and then you want to do your share?
Yeah.
All right.
I was sharing before it started, so
cool.
I think I'm going to order this guy. It is.
That's what we were talking about before the show started.
It's a 1 in 500. Yeah, I think I don't have a. I would say, I mean, I do have a Mezco, but I like this version, so I may pick it up. I'm pretty sure I am. Probably after Joe Fest. Hopefully, it won't be sold out.
Right.
Well, and it might be, so I might pull the trigger and then always cancel it. But
that's true. That is a thing. It's a pre-order, so yeah. So that's 3-0. And what Trey was asking me if I had one of these before, and yes, I have the Mark 50 and the Mark 50 accessory pack, and it is the Iron Man on my superhero shelf. And so yeah, I'm a big fan. I don't think you can go wrong with this.
I think it looks pretty cool. I think I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and that's one of my favorite armors too.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the first one from the Avengers.
And
I mean, obviously in a different color, but
I did get this guy.
I'm probably gonna pick that one up too.
I did.
Yeah.
So.
You think you're funny?
So I just think this thing's cool. Like it looks. Yeah, crickets. I think this thing's cool. Like it's really superposable. I hope they do it right. If they do it right, it's going to be amazing because the pictures look good. But then if like the joints are loose or something, then it's going to be bad.
You know, the one that put me over the top was the one where he's got his arms folded and he's like
that one.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much like character in that.
Yep. There's personality there.
Yeah, there's personality in that one.
I like it.
And it shows you that the eye can open and close like the eyelid. And so yeah, that'll be what's the Conan version of that character? Shumagorath or something like that.
Yeah, that's Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which is a rip on something from H.P. Lovecraft. Which I'm not going to say because I'm going to pronounce it wrong and it's going to sound like something bad.
Anyway, I thought that was cool. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, cool. I've got some stuff that I'm excited about. So let's...
Oh, and there's a 20% off sale on Classified for your army builders out there on BBTS.
All right, so starting off with this one just went up, as a matter of fact. I am a Rick and Morty fan. I do like them. I think it's funny. I haven't watched it in a while, so maybe it's not funny. Maybe it's jump the shark or whatever they like to say. But it's a $40 figure. I mean, how can you go wrong? And look at all the stuff it comes with. That looks like fun. So you've got Rick and you've got Morty. Looks pretty cool to me. So... thought I'd show that one off. Yeah, just goofy, fun. However, the first thing that we're going to go into is one of my favorite companies. Let's come over here. And one of my favorite subjects, super robots. Mosho Toys. Apparently there's like some show... maybe in Asia. Not exactly sure what the show was, but they are going to show off a whole bunch of stuff, and there's been some previews that have dropped. And this is Guy King. This is a Mosho Toys version, like a modernization of Guy King. And one of my favorite figures is a vintage Guy King from like the 70s that is still that I've had since it was new. And so I'm really stoked for this. He looks awesome. He is a little bit on the small side, so he's not their noble class. He's their illustrious class, which probably means he's maybe going to be like 8 inches tall instead of like the 10 or so. But anyway, super cool looking. I'm excited for that. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, they've got these dudes, which are also in that same scale, and they're kind of like army builders. So this will be like another 3-pack. I think I'd showed off the previous 3-pack on the show before. So these guys look awesome too. And then there's this freaking thing. Don't know much about it. It looks still very mechish, but then it kind of has a very human-like face, and the hands look kind of rounded. I wonder if I can
zoom in on the head. I can't. It looks samurai-ish, but
yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it's kind of like samurai monk sort of look.
It looks like Frieza from Dragon Ball Z.
Kind of, yeah. And I love Mosho, so I don't know what scale it's going to be in. You know, if it's got their like metal articulation, like their inner frame that they do. Mm-hmm. But this looks cool. I'm kind of excited for them going down different paths. And then, yeah, that was it. So quite a few from this post about Mosho.
If that big robot come with a samurai sword, that'd be cool.
Oh, he's okay. So these,
not him, the other one.
Which other one?
The one that looked like a samurai.
Oh, this dude?
That guy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's going to have a samurai sword. Yeah. Like, he just has to. There's like no way around it.
And a big halberd or something like the big.
Yeah. So he's obviously got the big axe, but he, the figure that I have, these knee plates come off and they are his swords. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering if they're going to have like some weird transformation gimmick with that. I'll be interested to see. But there's that. So let's close out of this. And
this is my buddy Cole. I met him at Inside Pitch Toy Promotions. Dude's gonna be at Joe Fest. Looking forward to hanging out with him. How many figures do you guys have? Too many to count, man. We'd be here 3 days counting figures. No.
Oh yeah, I'm
an army builder. I got a ton of figures.
That's not a thing you can do. Count your own figures? No. Okay, so this opened a link in a new window, so I need to switch that up. Sorry. Change over to this because, again, Mosho is doing that show, and so there's a bunch of previews that have come out. So Mosho is going to do. They were involved with Blitzway Carbotics on the first Voltron, and so now they're doing it again for this new Voltron, which I believe is. I think this is the Netflix one, but I don't know. This might be the new one from the live action that's coming out.
How big is that? Is that like a 20-inch figure?
I mean,
about scale. There's your scale. I think
he's going to be giant. The previous Voltron, I think, is about 16 inches tall.
Okay.
And it looks like they're using the same or a similar base. Mm-hmm. So I expect this one to be just as big. He's one of the largest.
You have the other one, right?
Yeah.
The classic.
Yes, and he's awesome. One of my favorite figures in the collection. And huge. So these are the little driver figures that it comes with, all sorts of accessories, and a ton of it actually fits in the base. This base like opens up, and you can store all this stuff in there. So
what would that run, Mosho?
This is probably going to be about 7 or 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I like gigantic. The lion Voltron.
Yeah, it's all die cast. I mean, yeah, the thing weighs an absolute ton. It's actually super articulated. And I can't say that necessarily about this one because I don't have this one in hand, but the original, love it. So
I had a hand-me-down Voltron from when I was a kid. And I remember my cousin dismantled it and lost one of them or destroyed it or something. So I just had the blue and the yellow and maybe the black. And I think the red was broken and the green was missing. So it was,
oh,
yeah.
So we got even more Mosho figures coming, and this looks like the Wukong Sun something like that, in kind of mecha form, which is pretty wild. These flags look awesome. I don't know what the conversion on that is, but it's not going to be direct, so it doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, man, Mosho bringing it. I don't know when all this stuff is due necessarily, but man, I can't wait. So this is, again, one of the reasons I was so excited for this episode, was to, kind of show all this stuff off and
Cool.
talk about it. So yeah, he looks pretty badass. Crazy Monkey King.
I was used to say Monkey King it up right there. That's
what this is after. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a Monkey King? Okay.
Yep.
Mecha Monkey King.
Yep. What else? And then I think lastly we've got Astrobots. Yeah, so these are they're very plasticky. There's not much paint on them. There is some, but man, they are still great figures. They're not super expensive. They're not like hundreds of dollars or anything. But I've been waiting for them to do this character. So they've got a comic book, and this character is from the comic book. And the moment I saw him in the comic, I was like, oh, he looks awesome. I want him on my shelf. And so they finally showed him off. And yeah, I'm excited for it. These things are as posable a figure as I own, I think, basically. And they're a lot of fun. So what else can you say? This is Atlas. This is I own him, and so it gives you an idea. He looks like he's a little bit bigger, and yeah, he's the bad guy in the show.
Oh, that's the other blue figure, the one that was on the thumbnail. That guy.
Yeah, this is the guy that I had.
Yeah.
I put.
So
in
that's another one of those. Yeah.
Yep. So this is from that same company, that same line. Just looking killer. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Got some lights in the eyes. Yeah, looking all sorts of cool. So
that's cool, man. So I'll tell you something that's been hard to resist is blockies.
Oh yeah.
I got this blocky and I almost pulled the trigger on like $200 for more of those.
Oh god.
Yeah. I
more, because honestly, I've only seen them when we were at Hidden Temple the other day.
Yeah. So I mean, I got one. I put it together. I like it. But
Right.
we're talking about scale.
Yeah.
This company has scale. There's a smaller version of this. There's like 3 or 4 different versions of different sizes. And I don't have any Transformers except for 1 or 2. I think I have actually 3. The Missing Link, Optimus,
Right.
the Missing Link, Bumblebee, and the Missing Link, what's the other dude's name? The red dude. Dang it.
Cliff Jumper.
Cliff Jumper, yeah. So these are cool. And they're fun to put together.
Yeah.
And they don't take up a lot of space.
Right.
So
That's a thing.
I'm thinking about getting some more, except it's like, okay, do I want to buy them individually and suffer having the same figure? Or I just want to go straight out and buy the box and know that I get one of each, because they're pretty cool. So I almost pulled the trigger on that. I don't know. That might be a driving home from Joe Fest, like as I ride along.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I didn't spend
cool.
all my money.
Dude, I still got more Take My Money, or
Okay.
as you were saying, toy news.
Oh, you got more? Oh yeah.
But this looks pretty cool.
That is cool. I saw that.
Yeah, I think Robo showed this off on the weekly over the weekend. So I've had this queued up a little bit. This came up on Bomb Busby, who I do generally support. They're a pretty nice store. And this is from Keep Going. And I've got one other figure from them, and it's actually really good and not very expensive. So honestly, I didn't look up the price on this, but these look very nice. And there's 2 flavors. I mean, that posability is awesome. And yeah, I mean, they're This is a little bit this kind of butt flap here, if you will, is kind of SH Figure Arts, and generally I'm not a fan, but on this I feel like it works because it's almost like just another muscle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he looks awesome. He comes with a big schlong apparently.
What?
That's weird. I didn't even know that. So hey, that
glad we're not monetized. Big
you never know what you're gonna get. It's keeping me awake.
Okay,
there you go. So if you didn't catch it, I'm not gonna go through all of these pictures, but there is a grayscale one. So nice. You got your two different options there. All right, here's an interesting one, and this goes to our upcoming discussion on scale. This is a 1/10 scale Daredevil.
Okay.
1/10 scale. I don't know who was asking for that. The figure looks awesome though. But 1/10 scale, like that's
the true height of this figure? Is it?
That is a good question.
4.5, 5 inches? What is it?
1/10 scale. So that means he's going to be like 8.
8. Oh, so he's bigger. Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of peculiar.
Doesn't go with anything. I have 1/12. It's just
right.
Just like McFarlane, I got rid of all my McFarlane except for like the one that's behind me, right there, and a Bane, and the rest of them are gone. So
yeah, man, I don't really get the 1/10 scale thing. I honestly hate 7-inch scale, especially. Well, we'll talk about it, especially when it comes to figures that people know and understand. So there's the red one. They also are doing a black one, and again, these things look really good. But that scale for me means I'm not buying it.
It looks good, but there's a Mafex just like that I could get.
It's not just like this,
well,
but it's
not
close.
Just like it, but close.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
I ordered a freaking NECA figure, man. I'm not one that generally goes in for NECA, but man, Samurai and Predator together.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a pretty quick take my money.
I tried to watch that new series. I got through. It was late, so I didn't really finish it, but I need to go back and watch it.
The movie, The Killer of Killers?
Killer of Killers, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but that'll happen soon. So no spoilers.
No spoilers.
But yeah, this looks pretty awesome. I don't know any of the other NECA Predator figures. I know this was like a thing that they did for a long time, so I think he'll be awesome to have on the shelf.
I'm reading Predator versus Spider-Man, and it's actually pretty good.
Oh, okay. That's surprising. 4 Horsemen are coming out with this Infinite Legions line, and this is the first figure that's coming from them, which is interesting. Honestly, I probably will. I don't know if I'll get both of them, but I'll probably pick him up. He does look pretty cool. I'm torn on this one because, all right, so 4 Horsemen are known for their pop and swap, you can customize your figures and stuff. But I'm a little put off by the fact that they start a brand new line with a ton of reuse. To me, that's a little, that puts me off a little bit.
Not too good.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, He looks cool though. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And there's a purple one too, so you can be sure I'm getting the purple one.
I'll pass.
I think it looks pretty slick. Anyway, moving on. I thought it was cool. Our buddy Patrick,
that's
is going to be at Joe Fest, and his Indiegogo. So he's not going to do it on Kickstarter. He has had multiple successful Indiegogos, so he looks like he's pivoting to Indiegogo. His campaign is going to launch there, I think, during Joe Fest.
Okay.
And he's got some army builders that he's put in on this.
I've never backed to Indiegogo, so I'll might for this.
I haven't either. Cool. And I don't have it here, but I will pull up the link a little later. There is like an army builder or two that he's going to have in the campaign too to help.
I think he had some like plain colored ones, maybe.
He had like a snow version and like maybe
Arctic and something else,
like a black version. But now he's doing an actual different sculpt for an army builder version.
I think he's changed it up since we had him on the show. So
yep. So it'll be interesting to talk to him at Joe Fest and see what he's got to say for, you know, what kind of stuff he's going to use to kind of bolster that campaign to try to, you know, make it more successful. And what else? I think there's a little bit more. Oh yeah, this is pretty interesting. So a new 1/12 scale line. Acid Rain is a 1/18 scale line, or has been historically, and now apparently they're going to do it in 1/12 scale. And this is near future military, which is pretty much right up our alley.
I'm happy with my Joy Toy right now.
Well, this is going to work perfectly with Joy Toy. Yeah. Or actually, this is going to work perfectly with your Joes sharing the same shelf because it's 1/12 scale.
Yeah, true.
So they're going to be at Joe Fest. So I'm kind of excited to see, you know, what they're going to have there. I think it's maybe a vendor that's, you know, going to be doing their advertisement for him there.
Okay.
But I think these things look baller, man.
Yeah, cool.
And they've got a lot of vehicles, I think. So maybe we'd actually get some big vehicles that'll fit these.
That looks... Oh, what's that game? I used to play a game that was a video game. It's been so long since that game, and I can't remember the name of it. But it kind of looks like it fits in that game.
Yeah. 1/12 scale soft goods Darth Vader.
Okay.
I don't know anything about TEM Studio. This is from TEM Studio. Death Star Supervisor.
Death Star Supervisor.
But it looks kind of good. Yeah. Cautiously optimistic.
I got every other Darth Vader. Why not that one?
Yeah, I guess you do. So, you know, it'll be interesting. I don't have... The only other one that I would consider getting of Darth Vader would be the Mafex. I would... SH Figure Arts is too small for me, for my shelf, so this could be maybe a stand-in. I don't know.
I got some SHF Star Wars. It's not bad. We'll talk about some of those here in a minute. So
we will, because that was the end of My Take Money.
Nice.
Quite a bit, and some pretty exciting stuff. I mean, the whole... We're going to see that new line at Joe Fest. So it'd be cool.
All right, let's talk about scale.
I'm choking my ass off over here. Give me a minute.
Let's talk. You've been talking a while. My turn.
I have.
Let's talk about scale.
I've used my weekly quota of words.
This guy. This Joy Toy stuff. This is my second Joy Toy figure. 1/18 scale. It looks freaking amazing. I am probably going to be buying one of these a month, at least. Maybe more.
Yeah.
But as I fill out the shelf with Classified and Action Force and Monster Force and Patriot Force and all the other military stuff, the other things might go a little smaller. You know, I got my Joes. I got my vintage Joes. You know, I love my vintage Joes. And I got a good
vintage Joes are technically 3 3/4 inch, not 1/18 scale.
Well, 3 3/4 O-ring, I'm happy with them.
Yeah, but
there is a difference.
Scale is actually like 4 inch.
Yeah, there is a difference.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely gonna be hunting Joes at Joe Fest, and I wish I could go to DFW. There's so much cool stuff. Not enough money, but I would love to go to DFW and hit that place up. But I think they did a decent job, other than the nods on him. I know I already talked about this, but it's improving, I guess.
So were they true to the scale differences on the his tank? Like, did they size that up like perfectly, or have you done measurements?
It's not a tank. I have not done the measurements, but this is the OG.
Yeah.
One of the OGs. If I pulled the right one, I got several.
And it's tiny.
It really is.
Yeah.
So they did. I think they did scale it up for the regular his tank. You can kind of see it over my shoulder, but I like the classified his tank. I wish I had room for a whole bunch of them, but I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like how they did it. And there's, you had the flap that came down here, and people could go inside. I think they did that justice. Now, you're talking about what they haven't talked about yet, the snowcat, the little tiny snowcat. But I think if they sized it up a little bit, like they did with the his tank, and they made it an APC / half track, like it is. It's a half track.
Yeah.
With half tracks. And they made this door pop down where people could go in and out of it. That would be cool to me. So it's a missile truck / APC carrier. Almost like a Bradley car. That would be cool. But then, like the Vamp. Vamp is cool. But compared to the big one, I got all the gridiron stuff on this one, so I don't want to knock down all my figures. Because that's what's going to happen.
How many will he knock over?
I didn't knock over any.
All right, good job.
I love this thing.
Well, yeah, that's not really even the stock Vamp, though. I mean,
no, it's not. I got a stock Vamp over there. This is the accelerated Vamp. But I think it's cool. I want to get the Phalanx from Gridiron, but dude, $400 is.
Yeah, that's a beast. That's a beast. All right, I got some stuff I want to show off in regards to scale to talk about.
All right, cool.
If that's cool with you. Okay, so first off, throwing out some examples. 1/18 scale. 1/18 scale, as we were just kind of talking about, is a little bit different than 3 3/4 inch. 1/18 scale is actually technically 4 inches if you talk about like a 6 foot tall person. So the Necromancer here is I don't think he's an O-ring. No, he's not an O-ring, right? But he's like 3 3/4 inches, where I think this is a Delta 17 figure.
I'm getting one of those at Joe Fest.
Yeah, I got him at Joe Fest. He is a 4-inch figure, and as you can see, there is a slight difference, about a half an inch, or a quarter of an inch. So that's not a huge deal at this scale. But the thing that's nice is these guys are really starting to bring it with detail, the sharpness of the sculpt, and the articulation. You've got double jointed knees here. You've got hinges on the hands and stuff. So 1/18 scale is coming a long way.
It is.
I'm going to put these guys up here because I also want to talk about 1/12 scale. Because 1/12 scale is all over the place. So I've got a Black Series figure here. This is Starkiller. And if we compare him to Grunt, for example, there's like a half-inch difference there.
Yeah.
Both are supposedly 12 scale. That would make Grunt is a very standard figure for G.I. Joe. That's going to make your average G.I. Joe dude 6.5 feet tall, which I think is a little excessive. When you look at Sarge, the Sarge buck is going to have him at like 7 foot plus.
Right.
Which I think is kind of crazy. So they are at least a little consistent. Joe's and Marvel Legends, both being about the 6.5 inch range there. But 1/12 scale gets even weirder. So Mythic Legions. All right, so Mythic Legions, I technically think is like a 1/12 scale figure. But it's different in the fact that I've heard it termed as heroic 1/12, because the proportions are not the same. I mean, this guy's thigh is as big as like, Starkiller's chest. But he's actually not that much taller. I mean, if you take off the helmet, if you look at like where the shoulders are, let's do this. If you look at where the shoulders are here, they are basically the same height. He's a little bit bigger, but he's got an armor overlay on, so I kind of give him that. So I that's kind of a nuance between 1/12 scale, and it's even different within the same line. So let's take this 1.0 female and compare it to a 2.0 female. She is significantly shorter and more lithe, and she's covered up here with the poncho or whatever, cosmic poncho. But I think it's kind of interesting. Even within the same line, you've kind of got two different scales, and I think that's great. Honestly, like, I don't mind this. What I do mind, and what I want to call out about this, is the fact that G.I. Joe 1/12 scale and all these other 1/12 scale figures aren't 1/12 scale.
Yeah.
And why I want to mention that is because it's problematic, because it leaves it much more open to interpretation. So you can't go, for example, to a model store and get like a model vehicle or a motorcycle that says it's 1/12 scale and have it fit. It's going to look like a gorilla humping a football. I mean, especially with some of the figures, like,
I got a few of those over there on the G.I. Joe shelf.
Yeah, they're just the wrong. They're just the wrong size. They don't work.
If you put a female body on it, then it looks more okay. It's more passable. But you put one of the guys on it, it's like a gorilla humping a football.
Yeah. So this is just an array of different sized figures in 1/12 scale, and I didn't even break out Conan from Mezco. He's even a little bit larger than Mythic Legions, Marvel Legends, and a little bit shorter than Mythic Legions. So, these two I wanted to kind of show off directly because they're both kind of, similar in their bulk. And obviously, Conan is supposed to be, super heroic proportions, if you will. But so it makes it hard. Like, even sometimes you get mounts and things, and it's like, is this going to look right on top of that? Is it, going to work? But then I think another, interesting kind of point to this is you bring in something like Savage Crucible. Technically, Savage Crucible is like a 7-inch line, but
they look cool.
They look amazing. And a lizard man, who's to say how tall a lizard man should be? And so monsters and unique individual characters, I have no problem with having a height difference. So if we look here, you can see, there's.
What about the new figures you got this week? The new.
Let's look at that.
Get the new guy.
Yep.
Compare him to the Lemurian.
So let me stand him up straight. So we've got Krieger here, and I am most concerned with him fitting next to Conan. So let's take a look there. So Krieger is wearing a lot of armor, and he has a helmet on. I'd say he's maybe a 1/4 inch taller than Conan.
Yeah.
So that kind of works. If you put a helmet on Conan, he'd be probably right there. But he's definitely like on the shelf, posing and things like that. You're not going to notice that. Right. But sometimes you will. And it's weird, man. So check this out. Here is a fantasy figure that is technically 1/10 scale. She is size large, right? But first off, she's wearing high heels. Okay. So that's giving her a lift, literally. And secondly, it's an elf. And it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe this race of elves were that tall. And as an individual, I'm fine with that. You know, I'm fine with kind of mixing these heights. But I would have more of a problem if it was kind of like I was trying to mix Cosmic Legions, which are very much this scale, with Star Wars Black Series. You know, that doesn't work.
Nope.
And so I think it's interesting because you have, you know, these are all supposedly 1/12 scale figures, and yet you have a vast array of different sizes here. And so I sometimes it works, but for the most part, I'm not a fan. I wish, honestly, and this is weird for me to say that, I wish they were all consistently proper 1/12.
Yeah.
Because it would give us more flexibility to go to like a hobby shop and get, you know, a motorcycle or a car and be able to use it. You know?
Right.
I don't. What are your thoughts?
So SHF, I pulled a couple SHF and Black Series figures.
Okay.
So,
well, let's go over to your spotlight if you're going to show some stuff.
the SHF Star Wars, and the Black Series Luke. Okay. They're literally the same size.
Okay.
Except one has massive amounts of articulation, and the other one's a Black Series. So, I've had these put away for a while, and I started re-unboxing them and putting them on in the Star Wars shelf because I just think they look better. And you know, Django is with Luke. It looks okay. They look similar. They look very similar, but with Django, it's a completely different story because, look at the head difference.
Oh yeah,
this Black Series has a massive noggin.
Oh yeah,
and this SHF.
Does the helmet come off?
No, not on that one it does. I think.
Okay, well that makes more sense then.
Yeah, Django comes off.
Okay,
but still. Like massive head, and the arms are huge. But I kind of like the SHF. I think it presents better.
Yeah.
Now, does the SHF have its own problems? Yeah. Little bit. But overall, I like it. It's for what it is. I don't know that. I think I stopped at a certain point because I was like, all right, if they're gonna do that, I'm not getting any more.
Yeah, that's.
But I do like I have the Boba Fett I have displayed next to my first appearance of Boba Fett is the SHF, and I absolutely love it. And but yeah, I mean, between Black Series and SHF, there is some size differences.
Yeah.
And all right, but so, even if you go TVC versus vintage Kenner, you know.
Well, yeah, but how does the vintage collection stack up against like your Joy Toy?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit bigger.
They look about the same to me.
Not the same.
Okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, that's cool. That could kind of work. Although Vader was supposed to be like a 7 foot tall dude. So
yeah, he's supposed to be big because I got to show this. This is my R2, and it still works.
Oh, that's cool. What's that from?
That's what year is this? I've had this forever. This is one thing I would not let go of my 3.75 Star Wars because he makes noises. It's cool.
Well, yeah, I just want. What is it? Is it a Hasbro or?
Yeah, I think so.
I just didn't know that they had one that made noise like that. That's cool.
It's. I don't have a magnifying glass, so.
All right, putting Trey on the spot.
Getting old. Can't see it.
All right, it says
Hasbro on it, so yeah, it does.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
I want to talk about some more scales here, if you will, to show off some. So we were talking about, 3 3/4 and 1/18 scale.
2001 Hasbro.
Okay, that's not that old. Not like the 70s old, I mean.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 3/4. We got 1/18. Well, we also have 1/18. Right? And I think that's cool because Space Marines are supposed to be freaking gigantic. And then we also have 1/18. And you can just see that, I think that's great, because this is technically the way they should be sizing up. Dude, I had that on screen for like 5 minutes.
Okay. I was looking at toys, man.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Sorry. It was a funny joke. I laughed. And that's why I showed it off. But yeah, so I dig this. This is cool because this works, in universe, if you will. Not that they are in the same universe, but this kind of you can build a battlefield around this and you can really show off the different sizes of figures.
Using perspective, though, you can make it look like they're, if you're doing
That's
toy
true.
photography.
Yeah.
I've used smaller figures to use perspective with the space I have, and
yeah,
I put a vintage Joe vehicle in the background of a classified picture and made it work.
Well, yeah, I mean, I showed off a couple weeks ago somebody that was using scale really well like that. But I mean, if you wanted to have this guy kick that guy or something like that,
no, I'm not happening.
Honestly, I think it's cool because it shows off that, yes, a Space Marine is 8 or 10 feet tall. And then this is a Primarch who's even freaking bigger. And he's not the biggest one that I have, but yet they are consistent. So I think that's slick. It does seem like the 1/18 scale stuff is much more consistent. Now, I don't have a ton of exposure to it, but it does seem like it's more consistent across the scale, unlike 1/12 scale. Did you have something else you were wanting to show?
Yep, I'm getting them ready.
Uh-oh.
We're going to go through the sizes of Storm Shadow.
Oh, okay.
So I got a vintage Storm Shadow. Then I got a Fwoosh Storm Shadow.
The Fwoosh Storm Shadow?
Yeah. Well, I made it a Storm Shadow. It's a custom.
Oh, okay.
So it's a Fwoosh Ninja with a Cobra logo on it and the arm kit. Because that's what I had until I got this. But there's definitely a size difference in the two.
Oh, yeah.
A thickness issue between the two.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded to my final Storm Shadow from the Mezco.
Oh, that's such a cool figure.
The Mezco is so nice.
Yeah.
The soft goods. It's just night and day difference in the look of these two.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of size difference. I would say the Mezco is just a little bit
slightly
taller.
larger. Yeah.
Slightly larger. But it works so well, man. I think they just need to do more of those.
And, on this topic, they managed to screw up Roadblock, though.
Yeah.
They did not adhere to the scale.
A lot of people are pissed off about Mercer. Now, then there was people showing Mercer in the cartoon movie where he's the same height as all the other guys, and Sarge was a lot bigger. So, but in the comics, and especially in the Energon universe, Mercer's huge.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Give us both versions. Make people happy. Give us the classic, Mercer from the cartoon or whatever, and then give us the Energon Mercer where he's bulky and kicks people's butt.
And I think that speaks to a bigger issue that I have with Hasbro is Energon is making quality, or Skybound is making the Energon universe, and they are giving quality new stories in canon. Right. And Hasbro isn't giving them their due. it should not have been this long for us to get, like, we still haven't really technically gotten, a classified version from the Energon universe of a character. Right. Why aren't they respecting, what Skybound is doing? I mean, and this is a problem that Hasbro has of underutilizing their IPs.
Yep.
And I think that's a shame, because they're just going to continue to seed, we don't have any, we're not going to give any of today's children the nostalgia vibes to buy any more of this stuff when they're adults. Right. Moving on, they don't have any cartoons out. If they don't come out with any Energon figures, they're not really giving them their due. So,
but I don't know. I mean, I doubt there's really a lot of kids reading the Energon universe.
Exactly.
It's all of us old guys with the nostalgia. Yep. So,
and we're doing that because we grew up on it with the cartoons and stuff like that.
I just wanted to show this. This is the vintage remake and the Masterverse. And this is literally the Panther that made me pull out all the Masterverse figures and put them back on the shelf.
Yeah.
This thing's awesome.
It really does look good. I like that, man.
This is going to be in my top 10 this year. I guarantee you.
You think so?
I think so.
That's cool. All right, so a couple more that I wanted to talk about before we can kind of pivot a little bit. So here we've got Storm collectibles, which I don't even know what scale Storm is supposed to be in. I don't know if this is supposed to be 1/10 or 1/12. I think I've heard people say it's supposed to be 1/12, but no, that's not happening. I mean, if we look at like, where's Grunt? Yeah, well, they should, because for the longevity of their stuff, it's a problem, or it's going to be a problem. But if this is a 1/12 scale, I even if Shao Kahn is a big dude, that's ridiculous. And like all of Storm collectibles, other than this new Arena line, are like that. And you want to talk about consistency? I will say that the 6th scale companies nail it. I mean,
that's all you. I can't talk on that at all.
Yeah. They like Hot Toys, In Art, every 6 scale company that I've seen and held and owned has all been very true within their scale, which I think is fantastic. And I mean, I wanted to show this off again because this is the kind of benefit that you get with a large scale. You get, hair and sculpting and paint jobs like this, let alone, the way the costuming is done. I mean, it's not even like soft goods at this point. It's costuming,
Right.
Layers upon layers built over a buck specifically for the character. Not that happens all the time, but 6 scale, I think, is probably the most consistent in my experience. But limited experience with the 1/18 scale, and that's growing to be a thing with me, surprisingly.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is I started out with 3.75 with the vintage collection with Star Wars, progressed into 1/12 scale, sold all that stuff, and now back into Vintage Joe's.
Yep.
I'm buying Joy Toy. I'm buying Delta 17. I'm buying Grindhouse Studios or Grindhouse Toys because all these people, indie people, are bringing out the 1/18 stuff that's just freaking fire.
Yeah.
So I would say now it's almost like a 75% 1/12 scale and 25% 18 scale. That's probably and it's the more we go, the more 1/18 I add to the collection because of space.
Yeah,
you only have so much space.
It's true. Yeah,
I can take down 1/12 scale figures and put up 1/18 figures and get a whole lot more on that shelf.
Yeah, and you get more vehicles and you get more cool things that to build your displays around. So last up for the figures that I'm going to show off physically, Mosho Toys. This is a big mech. I think technically this is supposed to be around the 1/72nd scale. And so, he is a pretty giant figure. Due to his axe, I can't even really get him on screen there, but you can tell, he's a good 10 inches tall. Yeah, maybe even a little bit more. But, Mosho is actually running 2 different scales now, which I think is pretty wild. They have, this scale that they refer to as noble class, and then they have their illustrious class, which is more like 1/100th scale. So they're kind of shrunken down, and they are at a very affordable price point. I think that's interesting. I think it's a little bit weird in the fact that they're not they're coming out with some figures in one scale and not another, which kind of is a bit of a bummer, because I want my shelves to be able to kind of evoke a sense of being in universe. Even if I don't have dioramas or something like that, you want your characters and their poses that are iconic and look cool. And so I want to have everything mixed on my shelves. So
we could talk about this forever, because we didn't even touch on Hot Wheels. I got some Hot Wheels carded on the wall up there. I mean, Hot Wheels and like race car stuff. There's so many different scales with models and all this. It's insane. Talk about that for forever.
We might have to talk a little bit more about it, because I am going to show off. So this is from Haya. Can you see my screen? Oh wait, hold on.
No. I see your desktop.
Woo! Infinite. So, Rick Grimes. So this is, and this is I pulled this one out specifically because this is a 1/12 scale figure. Soft goods, tons of detail and accessories in the armor and weapons and everything that he comes with. Highly detailed. That mask is actually really cool. You can see he's got a cool base with an arm. I'm not sure if that's showing that the base opens or something, but regardless. So Rick Grimes here is very cool. You see the detail, how close they were able to get, the actor's portrait there. So $120. But if we come over here, we've got 1/18th scale Rick Grimes from the very same setting, version of the character. Now this one is not using the soft goods. I think, let's see. I don't think that the paint and the quality of the head sculpt is as good. And obviously he's not coming with as much, accessories and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what's interesting. They're calling him out as being 4.2 inch, which I think is a little bit too big.
Right.
But $25.
True.
1/18th 1/18th here versus 1/12th here. I think that's this one easy, even with price difference.
Yeah.
This is the one that I would want on my shelf.
For this character, you got to have the spike coming out of the fist hand. That's part of the character. If you've not watched,
that.
If you got to watch The Ones Who Live,
yeah, I got to do that.
It was worth watching. But yeah, that's one that would go with the rest of the Action Force and Joe's and stuff. So
yeah, and I think it's interesting. That's a rare occasion where you get to see the same character from the same point in time in the fiction,
mm-hmm.
made in 2 different scales by the same company,
right?
Which is pretty wild. But it does show off kind of the vast differences that you can get. Is there a middle ground? What would that middle ground look like? I don't know. Maybe like a classified figure, but I think there's the pluses and minuses. The 1/18 scale, you get more vehicles and play sets, and you can build kind of like cool army scenes. And last year when we were at, I believe it was Joe Fest, and we saw Skeletron had that army battle scene set up. Do you remember that?
Oh, that was freaking insane.
That was really cool, man.
That was Marauder toys and
Right.
Skeletron together. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
we were taking pictures of that when Leon came and gave us the Action Force stuff from DFW.
That was really neat, you know, and to do, something like that in 1/12 scale, you know, it's going to take up just that much more space. And again, you don't have all the vehicles. You don't have all of that kind of cool stuff. I mean, building dioramas, you know, in 1/12 scale is a much different thing than 1/18 scale. But, you know, the 1/12 scale, you get more articulation, you get, you know, sharper detail and sculpting. And, you know, the figures are a little bit more true to life. And so there's a trade-off there.
I know somebody printing a flag right now, a classified scale flag.
Oh, yeah.
With printers running constantly, just the superstructure of the flag won't be done till August. What? No. I want to go to Galactic Comics and see the one they have, though. I just don't have room for it. I love it. I mean, I got an 8-foot table back here. I call it the battlefield, but it, you know, a real flag would just absorb all that space.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, you know, on that specific subject, you know, there's been a couple of people that have done some 3D prints of the flag and that big. And I mean, you really do have to have like a whole room dedicated to it. But you know what I don't think you do, and what I think that they should come out with but won't, is the Night Raven. I've spoke of this before. The original Night Raven was 28 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
A 1/12 scale sized up version of that vehicle would be about 48 inches long.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Like, that's, in my mind, that's doable.
We saw the one that got printed. We showed on the show that I mean, it looked good.
Especially when you consider the sail barge. The sail barge was like 50 inches long. It was, you know, taller. It had much more detail. It had a huge interior. And yet that was a HasLab. That was a very successful HasLab. Why won't they do a Night Raven? Because I really don't think they're gonna. They have sized down all of their HasLabs to the point where there's something in between what a HasLab used to be and something you can go and buy off the shelf, you know? But yeah, a Night Raven, man. I mean, come on. I would hang that from the ceiling and be super excited to own something like that.
Well, hopefully we get Rattlers by the time we get back from Joe Fest. That would be nice.
Yeah,
that week after.
That'd be cool. I haven't seen any shipping notification or anything, so
no. Just hey, it's going to ship soon.
Yeah,
it's probably on the water.
All right, so I think the last thing that I want to talk about scale wise is Transformers. Neither of us collect a ton of Transformers. I have one shelf that's right above me up here that is a bunch of Masterpiece Transformers. And now, Masterpiece is a scale in Transformer land. But I don't think that it necessarily lines up with, you know, like a human scale of something. And Hasbro labels their scales in Transformers. They give them like Commander class, Voyager class. And it's like, how meaningless is that? You know, what is that? What's the freaking point of that?
There's so many times I've wanted to dive into Transformers and just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So that's why I did the Missing Link, because it's highly articulated G1s. That's what it is. And yeah, they're expensive, but they're cool. The Optimus is really cool.
Yeah.
The Bumblebee and the Cliff Jumper, but like, I mean, these are cool. They don't transform,
right?
But they look cool. But there's a bigger version of this with Soundwave, who has all the cassettes that come out. That man, it's $40, and I might be down for that.
But I would like a 1/12 scale Optimus Prime to go with on my Joe shelf.
Well, that's another thing. You have both lines. You have Transformer and you have G.I. Joe and you have Energon Universe. Come on, man. Give us... I mean, it would be big. Yeah.
It'd be real big. Yeah. I mean, they did that that other company did those mega sized ones that didn't transform. They were just action figures. And I think those were close.
Yeah. I got a Hound back here. It's 3D printed from One Oak Customs. He's hiding behind the Dragonfly. But Hound is in the Energon universe with Clutch, and it's a really cool storyline. You could have done a larger scale Hound and had it transform into a Jeep that fit classified. Like, oh, what? That would be so amazing.
Yep. Well,
or even a new character that was like a Ram Cycle.
Oh yeah,
you know, or a Mirage.
Yeah,
a silver Mirage that turned into a new Transformer.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
People buy the ever living crap out of
that. You know, but again, we're just the dummies sitting here on a YouTube podcast throwing out these ideas that oh no, Hasbro's never going to freaking do that. Because I don't know. We don't know, what we would want. So, well, dude, I don't know. I think I hit about all my points that I had written down on, talking about scale.
I got one shelfie to show off.
All right. Evil says, I need to come and do his lights for his dios. Man, I do like doing lights. The lights that I did in these shelves were a huge pain in the ass, and I have learned many a lesson from it. So, I don't know. We'll be doing that again. So, all right. You wanted to show something off? You got a shelfie?
Yeah, I got a shelfie.
All right, hold on. Got to do the thing. That one's too fast. I need to make that a little bit longer.
What?
You didn't even see it?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. You're getting your picture pulled up, aren't you?
I am.
So you're not listening to me and
not talking trash to me about.
All right. You sharing?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
All right. Let's do it.
So I thought this was pretty cool. This is JT Toy Photo, and maybe our logo is blocking out the QR code, but this is.
I think I can do something about that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Keep going.
Our buddy Jason. He sent me this. He bought this dio from Ishwar, and it's a John Davis dio. John Davis built this one, but I thought it was cool. He made a Doom throne room, a Doom castle. Yeah. He's got the Fantastic Four and some Inhumans there. It's a cool photo. I thought it pretty cool shelf.
It definitely works for Doom there. I think immediately you would think fantasy figures, but man, Doom works. Like it. Doom works.
Speaking of Doom, I read the Book of Doom trade paperback this week. Amazing read. It's 2006, Ed Brubaker. If you get a chance to read Doom, Book of Doom, it's very cost-effective trade paperback on Amazon, and very good read. Doom's origin story.
Cool.
So, but that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, dude, we're actually at time here. I don't know how we managed that. With everything that I wanted to show off and talk about, and all my new fancy Savage Crucible figures. Oh, so good.
Nice. I will be going there first. And then probably
seriously.
BBTS.
I mean, from everything that Rob was saying, they are going to be hard to find.
Yeah.
So, thanks for sending out the shelfie. If anybody else wants to send us shelfies, all of our contact information is in our description. Send it out. We'd love to see that kind of stuff, honestly. We
ready
got
for Joe Fest, man.
Oh, Joe Fest. We got a couple of shelfies that were owed that I'm going to be hounding on some people that said that they were going to give us some that I'm anxious to see. So, man, next week. All right. I've got something special to show off next week. So
talking about Joe Fest, man, and all the cool stuff.
Oh yeah. But something else on top of that. So
okay.
All right, everybody. I think we're going to call it a show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't. It was a fun one. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much.
And if you're at Joe Fest, come talk to us.
Absolutely. We'll be handing out stickers. Got to remember to bring our stickers.
Yeah, that's my
bad. And we'll be at the lobby swap for sure, too. So come buy some stuff from us. And yeah, we'll be seeing you guys then. If not, next week.
All right.
Take it easy.
Yeah, we were on a mission, got my crew at my side. Scouring the shells, we're down for the ride. Plastic warriors all lined up tight. From the comic shop counters to the late night site. It's the thrill of the hunt, gotta make it mine. I'm out here searching, yeah, taking my time. I'll flip every aisle, don't care what it takes. For that rare chase piece, I'm raising the stakes. Action figure lines, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games. From legends to villains, yeah, I got 'em